Thanks for joining us. We're in for another wild ride of Oklahoma weather. That's right. With a high fire threat today, we also have severe weather headed our way tonight, with the possibility for strong winds, hail, and maybe even some tornadoes. Some parts of the state could even see snow. MC's here with us tracking it all to keep us informed. MC, what's up?
Thank you, Jessica and Patrick. Let's go ahead and get into the current conditions here on campus. It's 81 degrees, mostly cloudy outside. Sun is popping in and out, but those clouds are high in the sky, and it's covering up that sun pretty well. But it's pretty warm outside. The wind is coming in from the south, 28 miles per hour. Those gusts are getting up to about 36 miles per hour, excuse me. So pretty strong winds out there. So make sure you guys are careful with that. Humidity sitting at 45%, and that heat index is bringing the temperature up to 82 degrees. Now the temperatures across the state, we're seeing some 70s and 80s, 90 down in Altus, 81 in Guyman, same thing here in the metro, in Clinton and in Pocket City, 79 in Enid and in Tulsa, 77 in Miami, coolest right now in Idabel, 75. Now the weather headlines for today, right now, wind advisory here in the metro. Now in western Oklahoma, we have a high wind and red flag warning, which basically means that we could see some possible chances of grass fire. So make sure you keep an eye on that. Thunderstorms starting tonight before midnight, have an 80% chance. So more than likely we will see a chance of rain going into tonight. Low chances of tornadoes though, but we will see more rain ahead going later into the week. That's all I have right now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, MC. And the Oklahoma Red Cross tweeted tips on how you should prepare for wildfires. Some of them include gathering emergency supplies, keeping important documents safe, learning first aid, and knowing the health risks that wildfires can cause. For more emergency tips, you can download the Red Emergency app on your phone. Now, the American Red Cross is asking for blood donors to help Ukrainian refugees. That's right. Logan Gassett has the details.
We just assume that blood's on the shelves if we have an emergency surgery or if we need a transfusion for cancer or whatever it may be. We just assume the blood's there. That's not the case. It takes 1,200 donors a day to meet just our state's blood requirements. When an invasion like this happens with Russia invading, it affects their entire system, their entire way of life. I mean, a blood center in Ukraine was bombed, a donor was killed, 3 others were injured.
The Oklahoma Blood Institute is running a week-long event specifically for Ukraine refugees and their needs since the attack from Russia.
For the Ukraine, if you donate blood, you have the option to receive your free t-shirt, or you can forego that free t-shirt and we'll make a $10 donation to the Global Blood Fund. But every donor gets a Support Ukraine sticker. Even though Ukraine, it's not really a close tie to the state of Oklahoma, I just think that's in our blood as Oklahomans to want to help people. And we certainly know Ukraine needs help right now in their time of need, fighting off the invasion from Russia.
The Edmond, Oklahoma Blood Institute, located on South Broadway, is currently being remodeled and has been temporarily moved to the Mid-Con building on North Broadway Extension.
The temporary location, it hasn't slowed us down a bit. We were worried about folks being able to find it because people get in such a routine of going to their donor center, and when it moves, sometimes they're, you know what, I don't want to mess with it. But we haven't seen a lack of donors at all thus far.
This particular drive for refugees from Ukraine is available at every Oklahoma Blood Institute location until March 31st, but Cunningham said he's hopeful for similar events in the future.
I don't think we're going to necessarily say this is a one-week thing and we're done. I think we'll take a step back, assess just how successful it was in terms of blood collections and how successful it was for the Global Blood Fund to receive some donation funds to send to Ukraine. And who knows, it could only be the beginning, but it's certainly been a successful week so far.
To find out more information about the drive before it ends or make a donation, visit obi.org. This is Logan Gass reporting from Edmond, UCentral News.
Thanks, Logan. And the Oklahoma Blood Institute has an immediate need for O-negative blood donors. O-negative blood is compatible with all other blood types. People with other blood types can also donate. You can schedule a donor appointment at obi.org or call your local blood institute.
Gas prices are increasing across the nation, including in Oklahoma. According to AAA, Oklahoma's average gas price increased to $3.81, which is only 40 cents less than the national average of $4.21.
And another inmate has died at the Oklahoma County Detention Center. The jail says Dustin Rivas was found unresponsive in his cell yesterday. Rivas was booked into jail last Wednesday. The state's medical examiner's office will determine his cause of death.
Are you interested in a job within the Edmond community? The Edmond Police Department is now hiring, and their benefits include tuition reimbursement and paid leave. You must be at least 21 years old and in good physical condition. The hiring process includes a physical and written test. Go to the Edmond Police Department's website if you are interested in applying.
And memorial services for a faculty member of UCO's College of Education will be held this week. Christy Ferris passed away last Monday after battling cancer. Her service will be 11 a.m. Saturday at St. Edward's Chapel at Cassidy School. Flowers can be sent to Memorial Park Funeral Home and Cemetery.
UCO's College of Liberal Arts will be hosting their 34th annual Liberal Arts Symposium tomorrow. UCentral's Cameron Forrell has more on what students can expect.
College of Liberal Arts will be hosting their annual symposium tomorrow. The event will cover many students' literary and artwork. Dr. Brett Sharp, a political science professor at UCO and director of the symposium, described what students can expect for the event.
It's in its 34th year. We've been doing it forever. I've been on the committee, I think, since I first came here back in the early 2000s, and it's always kind of an exciting event. And you know, we have exhibits and posters and activities.
With so much to cover in just 6 hours, it leaves some wondering what departments of liberal arts will be represented.
And all the departments here are in the College of Liberal Arts are represented. You know, my department, political science, and then you've got humanities and philosophy and criminal justice and history and geography and sociology, the substance abuse and gerontology.
Over the past 2 years, the symposium has not been in person. The event was canceled in March 2020 and was virtual for 2021.
So this is the first year in a while that we've come back to do it as kind of a celebration of all our students' scholarly activity. Our keynote speaker is Gary K. Wolf, and he just won the Hugo Award, and so we're really pleased that he's doing that.
The symposium will be held tomorrow in the lecture hall on the first floor of the Liberal Arts Building from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. From Edmond, Oklahoma, I'm Cameron Forrell, UCentral News.
Tomorrow, all liberal arts classes between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. will be redirected to the symposium.
And the Oklahoma City County Health Department will host total wellness classes beginning next week. The agency will have 10 locations around Oklahoma County. The classes are meant to encourage healthy choices and become more active. Classes are free and you can sign up at the link on your screen.
The FDA approved a second emergency COVID-19 booster for adults over 50 years old and anyone over 12 years old with immune deficiencies. According to the FDA, patients have the choice between Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. You can get the second booster at least 4 months after your first booster shot. The approval for the second booster shot came just in time as the Omicron variant BA.2 is sweeping the nation. According to the CDC, the variant is responsible for over 50% of all COVID infections just last week. You can order your free at-home COVID-19 rapid test through the Oklahoma Postal Service.
And still ahead on UCentral News, we're checking in with MC for her full forecast. But first, Asian Heritage Month is just around the corner. How UCO is planning to celebrate after this.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah! Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
In the land of wonder and awe, you won't believe you see what you saw. Where there's something to do for young and for old, where stories are written and then they're retold. Visit Travelok.com today. Come see for yourself and come out to play.
Welcome back. April is coming up, and that means Asian Heritage Month at UCO is right around the corner.
That's right. UCentral's Amber Poston has more on the events we can expect to see here on campus. Let's take a look.
The start of a new month will bring traditions again. Asian Heritage Month will be beginning on April 1st and going to the end of the month. Asian Heritage Month is usually celebrated in May, but the Asian American Student Association decided to celebrate it in April because of how our school schedules were lined up. The kick of the event will begin in the 9 in the Constitution Hall as they are celebrating the first day of Asian culture.
For the event that's happening this Friday, it's our kickoff. So for every Heritage and History Month that we celebrate and do, we started off with a kickoff where we kind of explain the history of the cultures and where we kind of tell the theme.
The AASA is wanting others to gain knowledge and respect for the Eastern cultures, customs, traditions, involvements, and appreciating the Asian cultures.
The Asian Heritage Month is dedicated to the celebration of Asian communities and culture all over the world. And with Asian American Student Association, there are many different associations. There's associations through the International House, like the International Student Council, but for Asian Americans, we have the Asian American Student Association.
Reporting from Edmond, Amber Poston, UCentral News.
All right, Bronchos, I am MC, your weather anchor. Let's go ahead and get into your weather headlines here in the Metro. Weather headlines, it's a wind advisory here on campus right now. But let's talk about Western Oklahoma. They are in a high wind and red flag warning, which basically means that we could have some potential grass fires going later into the evening. But with those showers coming in, we might not see any grass fires at all. Thunderstorms starting before midnight tonight. So make sure you guys keep an eye on that. We have a low chance of tornadoes. So I'm not saying that they won't happen, but we have a low chance. So they possibly could, but they probably won't. More rain ahead, so we are looking at rain going into Monday and Sunday this weekend as well. Now, the current conditions here on campus, 81 degrees, mostly cloudy. We have a south wind of 28 miles per hour, so it's very, very windy out there. The clouds are out, but it is very hot outside. I would say wear shorts or a shirt if you do have to come out on campus. 45% of humidity. With that heat index, it does feel like 82 degrees. Now, the temperatures across the state, we're seeing 70s and 80s, 190 and down in Altus, but mostly 70s and 80s everywhere else across Oklahoma. Now for tonight, temperature is going to drop down to 50 degrees with those thunderstorms when we begin before midnight. I'm thinking around 10 tonight. That's when we're going to start seeing those showers. We're going to have a south wind 26 miles per hour with those gusts getting up into the mid 30s, so 35. So with those strong winds and that rain coming in, we might have a slight chance of hail as well. Just make sure you stay tuned to your local weather station just in case anything does happen later tonight. 48% with the humidity, and we have an 80% chance of rain, 80 to 100% about. And now temperatures across the state, we have 50s and 40s here in Oklahoma, but up in Guyman, we're sitting at 35 for tonight, but everywhere else we're seeing 30s and 40, well, 38 in Woodward, and then 40s everywhere else. Now for tomorrow, we're going to see 50s and possibly some 60s, 170 down in Idabel, 50 sitting up in 57 in Guyman, and 58 over in Ponca, same thing in Enid, 57 in Enid as well. Then we're seeing 60s in mid Oklahoma, 58 here in the metro, and then southern Oklahoma, we're going to see about some 70s down there later into tomorrow. Now for the daily forecast for tomorrow, 7 a.m. starting in the early morning, we could see that rain travel into the morning time. 53 degrees is where we're going to see that. But going into lunchtime, it's just going to be pretty windy. So, it's going to be 47 degrees. And then 7 p.m., clear sky is going to be 56 degrees. Now, the 7-day forecast is what I have up right now. You can see where I was talking about we're going to have some slight chances of rain going later into the week. Friday is going to be 20%. And then Monday, we have a thunderstorm chance, 40% chance of rain. Everywhere else throughout the week, we're going to see that temperature drop down going into tonight and then further later into the week. And then going into the weekend, we're going to see that temperature go back up and then back down starting on Monday. But that's all I have for you guys. Tune back in to see what else I have for tomorrow. Back to Patrick.
Thanks, MC. And coming up, the way you purchase video games may change. More on that after this.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world? You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Back to UCentral News, I'm Tyler Whitehead. And as you guys saw probably over the weekend at the Academy Awards on Sunday, there was a monumental moment that immediately went viral all over Twitter. Will Smith smacked Chris Rock, and a comedian actually posted a parody of this video to Twitter about the altercation between Will Smith and Chris Rock. And in this altercation and on this parody video, he mentioned several pop culture references of several of the projects both actors have been involved with. Smith has publicly apologized for the altercation, and Rock has stated he will not be pressing charges. The question is, do you think it is staged or did it actually happen? And from the Oscar stage to the Broadway stage, this Friday, Disney Plus is debuting their latest original film, Better Nate Than Ever. The film follows a 13-year-old boy who auditions for a Broadway adaptation of the Disney movie Lilo and Stitch. The film stars some unfamiliar and familiar faces like Lisa Kudrow, who is commonly known for her role in the hit comedy Friends. And what do you think about Disney Plus's new slate of original films? And the adventures of Zelda have been delayed. Today it was announced that the release of the sequel to the wildly popular game Breath of the Wild will be delayed until 2023. The game's producer made the announcement on Nintendo's Twitter. They're delaying the release so that developers can take more time to expand the game and add new features. Were you looking forward to the Breath of the Wild sequel? And PlayStation is adding new ways for you to access games. Today, they announced they will be rolling out 3 subscription plans plus Essential. The $9.99 a month deal gives gamers 2 free games monthly, access to online multiplayer, exclusive discounts, and cloud storage. Plus Extra, the $14.99 a month deal has the benefits of Essential plus access to a library of around 400 PS4 and PS5 games. The final tier Plus Premium, the $17.99 a month deal, gives users an access to a library of modern and retro games as well as PC players who stream through PlayStation Now. What do you think about these new subscription plans? And I know I will definitely probably have to check out those PlayStation features because I gotta get on that new Harry Potter Hogwarts role-playing game because that just looks like so much fun.
That's awesome. I love the retro games. I played Crash Bash like it was nothing. I mean, all the time when I was a little on PS2.
Sure. I'm excited to see what PlayStation brings back with the older games. But that's all we got for social media. Aaron recaps an exciting Thunder win last night. Coming up next.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world? You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look! Welcome back, Broncos. I'm Aaron Gelvin, and this is your Tuesday Sports. UCO softball team is currently 28-6 overall and 7-1 in MIAA play this season. Over the weekend, UCentral's own Taylor McKittrick profiles one member of the team playing through injury this season.
Softball junior Michaela Rutland has pushed through an injury that started last fall, and she has continued to play while battling through the pain.
My wrist injury started late September during one of our fall morning practices. It happened while I was in the outfield doing reps, and I went to dive for a ball, and my wrist twisted underneath my glove, and that's when it sprained.
Michaela continues to rehab and tape her wrist when suiting it for the games, but it is not as easy as it sounds.
I personally think I have a pretty high pain tolerance, but it still causes me a lot of trouble. There's definitely motions that aggravate it more than others, but the way that I'm able to push myself through the season and off season was that I just want to be out there for my teammates.
Michaela wants to keep pushing herself to see the bigger picture, which is winning a national championship for the Broncos. But there is only a certain point of how far she can go without re-injuring herself.
With this injury, I try to make sure to push myself because this is just one small stepping stone that I know that if I can get past this, I can hopefully deal with more adversity as we reach conference play and regionals and then hopefully get the end result of being a national champion.
Rutland is ready to keep fighting for her team and continue to push herself to help them win a national championship. In Edmond, I'm Taylor McKittrick, UCentral News.
Thanks, Taylor. And UCO is next in action against the Newman Jets with a doubleheader on Saturday. And the NFL announced a change to their overtime rules in the playoffs today. This comes after a thrilling battle between the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs in last year's postseason that Kansas City won in OT after winning the coin toss. And the Bills were given no chance to match the Kansas City Chiefs touchdown. The new rule, which is for the playoffs only, means that even if the first team to possess the ball scores a touchdown, the other team will get a chance to score a touchdown as well. If both of these happen, then the game becomes sudden death, and the next score of any kind wins the game. And your Oklahoma City Thunder won an overtime thriller last night in the Pacific Northwest, speaking of overtime, as they were victorious over the Portland Trailblazers by a score of 134-131. OKC was led by Isaiah Roby, number 22 in these highlights, who had 30 points and also grabbed 8 rebounds. Aaron Wiggins, number 21, added 28 points and had the game-sealing dunk in overtime. Portland was led by Ben McLemore, who had 28 points, and Drew Eubanks, who had 27. The Thunder won despite being without starters Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Lou Dort, and Josh Giddey. It was announced earlier this week that Giddey would be shut down for the season due to injury, concluding a rookie season that saw him become a fan favorite in OKC. Gilgeous-Alexander and Dort are also done for the year due to injury, as the Thunder have just 7 games left in the season. And finally, we have a Final Four set in college basketball, as the field of 68 teams has been whittled down to Villanova, Kansas, North Carolina, and Duke. Here's Hubert Davis, the coach of the Tar Heels, talking about the run his team has been on.
It was really emotional towards the end of the game when we can finally settle in and realize that, you know, these guys are going to a Final Four. It was something that I just desperately wanted for them. You know, this is probably the most nervous that I was before the game, because I really wanted them to go to the Final Four. And it's something that we had talked about at the beginning of the season. And in the huddle, I told them that it's not a hope, it's not a dream anymore, it's a reality.
And guys, we have an Oklahoma connection actually as well in the Final Four. Brady Manick, who used to be at OU, now at North Carolina in the Final Four.
Yeah, Brady's definitely having a really good postseason for North Carolina, and it's going to be interesting to see is the result the same as it was at Cameron Indoor earlier last month when Coach K lost to North Carolina. So we'll keep an eye on that.
North Carolina, yeah.
Yeah, Aaron will keep you updated, but
I'm pulling for Coach K. I'm just going to say it. I want him to win. I know he's retiring. I'm pulling for him. So.
But that's all we have for sports today. That's all we have for sports. Sorry. We'll be back after this.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world? You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
And breaking news, UCentral has just learned within the last hour that President Biden has signed a bill into law that makes lynching a federal hate crime. Racial violence has swept the nation recently, and this bill works toward reducing those hate crimes. And speaking of breaking news, we're going to toss it to MC as we have some counties in the state being evacuated due to wildfires. MC?
That's right, Jess. I just got word that Roger Mills County is being evacuated. Roger Mills is going to be right here in that area. They are being evacuated for a grass fire, so make sure you guys stay up to that. Here's my 7-day forecast. That's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Tune in on Thursday to check me out for our next forecast. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, MC, and be careful tonight with the severe weather coming in. So that's all the time we have. Thanks for joining us on this edition of UCentral News.
I'm Jessica Morales.
I'm Patrick Talbot. Have a good night. Stay safe, Broncos.
Stay safe, Broncos.